Welcome back to Small College Conversations. I'm Kristen Eargle. Today, I'm joined by James M. DuBose Jr., ECSU's Athletic Director. Thanks for being a part of us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yes, excited to hear your story and what's next there for Elizabeth City State. Okay, you started year two just now as the AD there. What were some of those big takeaways from year one?
Well, we're very excited that we came in 22 and we were able to win the women's volleyball championship, women's basketball championship. Then we came right back the next year with winning two Northern Division championships and two CRAA runner-ups. So, the winning culture is definitely here. But most importantly, the thing that excites me even more than bringing home rings is the fact that we've been graduating our student athletes. And our departmental GPA is currently at a 3.12, and we're consistently moving forward. And even one semester, we had 14 of our student athletes to have a 4.0 GPA. So the fact that we're getting it done in the classroom and in competition is really what's making this thing move for us.
Now, you got your start in the development space and you're involved in NAADD. What's been key for you in finding success in development and ultimately building the tools you need to do your job today?
Well, really trying to find ways to make sure that we find the right people that will support us, because everything that we do is really to enhance the student athlete experience and getting people to understand the why behind what we do, gaining the support from sponsors, from donors, from alumni, friends, and even family members of our student athletes has really been important so that they really understand every dollar that they donate makes a difference in the lives of our student athletes. We want to continue to enhance the student athlete experience and make sure that just because we're a Division II institution does not mean we can't offer Division I opportunities right here in Elizabeth City, North Carolina.
I agree with that. And I want to ask you a lot of follow-up questions to this, but we'll start here, which is your background and what led you here. What was interesting is looking at your resume here or just your bio online, which is interesting here that you were at Winston-Salem State and then you came over to ECSU as the interim AD. So talk me through that career decision and saying, okay, I'm going to leave this and go in an interim role. Walk me through that.
Well, I grew up in a household of educators. My mom was a teacher and principal and, for years, and education and opportunity was always something that she talked about. And I've been at Winston-Salem State for 8.5 years, serving in almost every capacity. My last role was a senior associate AD. And this gave me an opportunity to branch out, to just see what I could do and see if we could really build a team and really try to take a department to another level. This university has such a rich history in athletics. And it was great to have an opportunity to be a part of that and to try to continue to add on to the things that have been done here for so many years.
And when you had that opportunity, you probably thought, this is my shot, right? And I'm going to have a chance to prove myself in front of this leadership here. So what were those few things that you did in that interim time that ultimately helped you get the job?
Well, one of the things we did was try to cast a vision. We wanted to focus on academic excellence, fundraising, of course, infrastructure, really focusing on how do we build up our spaces that our student athletes have. And then really, how do we build a holistic student experience? So, in doing that, we shared that vision. And then I took a different model. A lot of times, from this seat, we try to build football because football is the place we sell most tickets. Took a different approach, tried to look at how we could enhance our scholarship opportunities for our other sports, really looking at basketball, volleyball, and it turned out great for us. Our coaches did an excellent job putting those student athletes in the best opportunities to win. They were able to go out and recruit the very best that they could get here. And it proved to be great for us. And looking at that, we tried to start some fundraising initiatives. We did a 50 and 50, where we wanted to raise $50,000 in 50 days. Also looking at, just how we could set up a different structure to really build a long-term program. And it's been effective. Like I said, we've won 2 championships, 2 runner-ups, and two Northern Division championships. So I believe we have the right model. We just have to continue to build on that to really grow where we are and make this thing, you know, the best we can for years to come.
You said something earlier that really was incredible, which is, and you said it before in another interview I was looking up, which is, there's Division I schools and there's some experiences that we can offer the same right here. Talk to me through some of that mindset and what maybe some of the initiatives that you're tackling that you feel like we can do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, something as small as nutrition stations. When I look at a lot of our D1 institutions, they have fueling stations, nutrition stations, and those are some of the things that's something we want to bring here. We've done it on a small scale, but that's something we want to continue to develop. Locker rooms. We've put an initiative together to enhance our locker room spaces, and some of the same pieces that you see at Division I locker rooms, lights, carpet, nice, spacious, changing areas. Those are the type of things we want to bring here. Study hall, making sure that we have a robust study hall where student athletes are able to get the tutoring that they need. And so those are things that we've done to make sure that just because we're a Division II institution, we don't have to be behind the 8 ball. If there are elements that we see at a Division I, we want to bring those here. And we want to figure out how to blend those things together so that they fit our school footprint, they fit the vision of the institution and of our athletic department. But we want to make sure that our student athletes don't feel less than because they aren't at a Division I institution.
Love this. Okay, something I wanted to bring up, which is ECSU is a part of the UNC System schools, and they're actually going to get some substantial revenue from sports betting. And it was expected in the beginning to each school would have 300,000 but instead it's going to bring in roughly 820,000 to each school. What a difference that's going to make in your budget. What's been your reaction to this overall?
This has been phenomenal for us. This has been a major move for us because the one thing that many athletic departments face in the country is a deficit. And here, just like many other institutions across this state, our athletic department too had a deficit. So immediately, based on the guidance from the UNC system, those funds are going to help eradicate that deficit. And then as the funding continues to increase, we'll be able to go in and increase our scholarship opportunities, continue to enhance things that we do for our student athletes, continue to grow and enhance our facilities. But the biggest thing initially is to stop the bleeding from the deficit. And as that number continues to grow, that we'll be able to receive, we're going to go ahead and do all we can to get our programs fully funded from a scholarship standpoint.
And talk about facility enhancements. Anything on the docket in the next year or so that you're kind of excited about looking into?
Well, we've got a lot of things out there. We're looking to really do some things for our gym, be able to enhance what we do for our gym, our football stadium, continuing to work for locker rooms, and potentially even adding track, having a track program.
Nice. Okay, so what are some of the biggest challenges that you see the division facing right now, and how do you develop a strategy to handle it there on the local level?
Well, one of our biggest strategies here is funding and people. Looking at how we get funding in, getting people to get on board with us and donate to the program, getting people to support our student athletes from a sponsorship standpoint, where we're able to bring businesses in to not just display their logos and partner with them, but to also be able to drive funding to grow our department where we can purchase additional things that they need with, such as extra uniforms. Right now, we have an initiative that we're just starting to help cover our travel costs, where we want to raise all the money that we spend in travel, where we're renting buses, covering lodging, meals on the road. We want to raise that money to make sure that we can continue to offset, our budget. Also, one of the challenges is getting people to move to this area. We're in a rural area, and a lot of the largest cities are about an hour away. So, many of my staff drive in 45 minutes to an hour to work. But really, those are the biggest things that we face. We're really trying to get our name out there and continue to bring the best recruits in the country to Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and really getting people to understand that every dollar makes a difference in the lives of our student athletes is so critical. Because someone said to me just a few weeks ago, I have a small business, we can't do a lot initially, but can we start with $1,000? And they had no idea how much that $1,000 was going to impact our students. When we look at scholarships, it's almost disheartening at times to see students, have gotten scholarships, they've taken loans, they've made payments, but they're still short. And families, oftentimes need less than $1,000 to keep a student athlete, or a student in general in school. And we want to make sure that we are able to increase those scholarship offerings so that we can be able to continue to not just recruit, but retain those students that we bring here to Elizabeth City State University. So we need people to donate. We need people to get behind us. We need people to understand that every dollar makes a difference. And we want to be change agents here at Elizabeth City State University.
Talk to me about something personal, which is your leadership strategy and your leadership approach. And maybe share with us, there's young professionals out there that watch these and go, I want to be where James is today. Or maybe some of the key pieces of advice that you could share that's led you where you are today.
Well, one of the biggest things is, don't be afraid to move. Don't be afraid of a new challenge. Don't be afraid to do something different. Many times we take cookie cutter approaches to things. Many times you see advertising and sponsorships, everything's a cookie cutter. Don't be afraid to do something different. Don't be afraid to try it a different way. Don't be afraid to make a mistake, and don't be afraid to fail. Because what I've learned being in college athletics now almost 13 years is that we have to be at a place where we aren't afraid to do something different. We have to be able to ask, for that donation. We have to be able to keep your bag packed. One of the things that one of my mentors told me when I first got started in this business was, keep your bags packed and be ready to take the next opportunity. I had no idea what that meant. But I later realized that in order to grow, sometimes you have to pack up and be willing to move. But so often we get caught up in the level of comfort. We've got to step outside of that box, try it a different way, take a different approach, and just go for it and see what happens.
Love it. Final question for you. I know as you moved in this role, you've been there a couple of years, and you're probably in a routine. What's next on your plate, specifically in the next few months?
Well, trying to win football championship, really trying to get our football program back to top tier, making sure that we can win men and women's basketball and really get ready to elevate our spring sports, because I believe that we've developed a championship culture here. And I believe that our teams can really come back out here and do it big. I'm excited about our volleyball program. We've already started the conference 2-0. So, looking forward to bringing home another ring in volleyball as well. The biggest piece is just now building on what we've built, making sure we can get people to support us, and let's go out and do the best we can in the classroom, in the community, and in competition.
James, an honor to hear your vision and perspective. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.